Well, hello there, you fine human beings. Today is day 217, August the 5th. Those of you doing the one-year Bible readings with us, we've got Ezra chapter 1, verse 1 through chapter 2, verse 70. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 18 through chapter 2, verse 5. Psalm chapter 27, verse 7 through 14. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 22 through 23. Ezra is an interesting book. I do want to read out of Ezra today, but it's an interesting book. A long time ago, Ezra and Nehemiah were kind of put together. They were like a combo book. It was like hyphenated. They're two separate people, Ezra and Nehemiah, but the stories line up so well with one another that they just kind of lumped it together. Now we've got it divided not as Ezra and Nehemiah, but as Ezra and Nehemiah. So that's neither here nor there. But in Ezra, the storyline is continuous after Israel and Judah have been under siege. They've been taken captive. If you remember, at the tail end of Chronicles, you've got Jerusalem being captured and burned, and then you've got this King Cyrus coming. And he ends up letting some of these folks go back to Israel. It's very intriguing. So there's three groups that end up essentially going into captivity and coming back to the Promised Land. The first group is there to try to rebuild the cities. The second group, Ezra's group, is there to try to rebuild the righteousness that they have lost in this dark time. And then you've got Nehemiah. Nehemiah comes in, the third wave of folks, to rebuild the wall so that they can be safe there in Jerusalem. So three waves. Ezra's in the middle here. He's about 100 years off, give or take a little bit, from Nehemiah. But Ezra goes, and he is headed in to restore righteousness. Ezra chapter 2, verse 1. Now these were the people of the province who came up out of captivity, of those exiles from Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had carried captive to Babylonia. They returned to Jerusalem and Judea, each to his own town. So this is the move that they're making. They're returning. And while they were gone, you'd think that they would realize that the destruction was due to them turning from the Lord. But instead what they do is they begin taking on the things from these nations that took them captive. They take on those ideologies, those religions, those idolatries. They end up ultimately turning their backs on the Lord. Yet the Lord is still gracious and brings in Cyrus to send them back home and restore them. You see, we don't deserve release from our captivity. We can't earn release from sin or death. We can't earn that. We can't be good enough. It's by the grace of God. And that's why he sent Jesus, is so that we could walk free. Not that we deserve it, but that he's a loving God and wants better for us. Just like back here, God wanted them in his city, in Jerusalem. And so he worked on wicked kings, to have those wicked kings honor him. If the wicked honor God, how much more should we honor him? We who know him. May you honor God today with what you do and how you do it. Be righteous.